What happens when two political opposites, Donald Trump and Keir Starmer, sit at the same table? You'd expect fireworks, right? But instead, we've got friendship. Yep, friendship. Let's talk about one of the most unlikely political bonds on the world stage today. Welcome back to the channel. Today's story dives into Trump and Starmer's personal relationship and why it might be changing how the U.S. works with Europe. This video has some fascinating insights, so watch it all the way through. And if you find this kind of content valuable, don't forget to like and subscribe. It helps us keep breaking down the news that really matters. Now here's the thing. Donald Trump, the conservative American president, and Keir Starmer, the more liberal British Prime Minister, aren't exactly cut from the same cloth politically. In fact, when Trump began his second term, White House officials were worried. The big question was, how would Trump get along with world leaders, especially one as different as Starmer? And here's where the plot twists. Instead of clashing, they clicked. Multiple White House insiders told Politico that the two leaders formed a genuine bond. One even called them an unlikely duo. Imagine that. The firebrand Trump and the pragmatic Starmer actually respecting each other's views. Steve Witkoff, Trump's special envoy, described it this way: "I never hear Starmer lecture. I don't hear him be condescending. And the president gives that respect right back." That's not the Trump-Europe relationship we remember from his first term, is it? Back then, things were rocky. Lots of tension with NATO and claims that allies weren't treating America fairly. But now, Trump's in London on a historic visit, full of pomp, and Starmer is making sure he feels heard. Think about it. Why does this matter? Because when leaders actually listen to each other, even if they disagree, deals get done. And in this case, we're talking about massive issues: Ukraine, Gaza, trade, and even energy policy. Of course, they don't agree on everything. Trump apparently teases Starmer about his love for windmills. Classic Trump, right? But they've found common ground on nuclear energy. It's not kumbaya politics, but it's progress. And that's the key. Advisors say they've both been moderating their views after listening to one another. Not selling out their supporters, not abandoning their positions, but adjusting, refining, and finding a middle ground. In today's political climate, where compromise feels like a dirty word, that's pretty remarkable. So let's ask the big question: is this real friendship changing the way America deals with Europe? Or is it just smart diplomacy dressed up as a bromance? Compare this to Trump's first administration, where every meeting with European leaders seemed like a showdown. Now, officials describe an ease between Trump and Starmer, a relationship built not on ideology, but on respect. And honestly, that's rare. Two leaders with so many differences, but willing to say, "Why don't you think about it this way?" and actually mean it. In politics, unlikely friendships can move mountains, or at least move tariffs and trade deals. Arr! So maybe the real headline here isn't about ideology, but about what happens when leaders talk less like rivals and more like friends. What do you think? Is this Trump-Starmer friendship a genuine game changer, or just political theater? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to hear them. And as always, if you enjoyed this breakdown, hit like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more stories that cut through the noise. Until next time, stay sharp.